One day, about 13 years ago, I realized that I hadn't cried in years. At the time, I was in my early to mid 20s. I noticed that I hadn't cried because I forgot how to cry. Literally. When I cried, it was so awkward, or when I attempted to, I should say. It was so awkward. It hurt. It was like I had no idea how to do it. Now, this was weird for me at that age, and being a young woman specifically. I know this plagues men. I know men deal with this, so I hope that if any men are listening out there, that if you can relate to this, then I'm not going to say good you relate to this, but hopefully you can find some relation in this. But it was so awkward because I felt that as a young woman, I should be more emotional. I felt like I lacked some key aspects of femininity. And that's not to say that only girls cry, only women cry. But I was so detached from my emotions, and I didn't know how to express them correctly. Anger became the only emotion I knew how to express very well, but it was like the only thing. Everything else was completely off. I didn't know how to be vulnerable. I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know how to be sad, because by that time, being sad the cost was so high. But at some point in my life, at what age, I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say somewhere around 14, 15 years old, I decided that I can't do anything about the life that I have. And so I'm just going to move forward. But what happened was all of the pain kept piling on my back to where it was hard to mask. And that brings us to that year, around 2017, where I didn't know how to cry. But when I would be in regular conversation with people, I would be on the verge of tears. And that sounds like two opposing things. If you're on the verge of tears, then the tears should be able to fall, right? And maybe they could if I, didn't actually feel the pain. And I didn't want to acknowledge that it hurt, but that's literally what it did. Then fast forward to 2020, and I cried for the first time. I mean, it was a pain cry, especially because I hadn't cried in years at that time. But I was bawling. I cried about struggling for the first time. I cried about being broke for the first time. And I'll never forget that, because it was like I released something that was built up for so long, and the pain that was tied to it. And so if you haven't cried in a while, man or woman, it's okay to cry. But more importantly, the more important thing to say is that it's okay to feel the sadness from being hurt. It's okay to feel the shame. I know it feels like you'll be doing yourself a disservice. Holding in the pain that you feel will really, really start to weigh down on you. And when you let it go and go and go, this spreads out into not only the way you treat others, but mainly how you treat yourself. The two really go hand in hand. When you treat yourself with love, not egotistical, stuck-up love, but when you treat yourself with love, you usually mirror that to society, to the people around you. But when you're bottling things up, it's going to spill out. And you don't want that, do you? I know you don't want that. So just know that it's okay. And it's very healthy. And it's going to be awkward. It's going to be so awkward at first if you haven't cried in a while. It's going to be the ugly cry. It's going to feel like you're just screeching. I would mimic it, but I don't think y'all want to hear that. But it's going to be awkward and you'll get better. All right, you'll get better at crying. Most of all, not bottling things in and being vulnerable. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will catch you all at a later date. Bye.